As Saudi Arabia is to oil, the UK is to wind. A place of almost limitless resource, but in the case of wind, without the carbon emissions, without the damage to the environment. I remember how some people used to sneer at wind power 20 years ago and say it wouldn't pull the skin off a rice pudding. Well, they forgot the history of this country. It was offshore wind that puffed the sails of Drake and Raleigh and Nelson and propelled this country to commercial greatness. This investment in offshore wind alone will help to create 60,000 jobs in this country and help us to get to net zero carbon emissions by 2050. They may have £1 million homes in North London, but they deeply dislike home ownership for anyone else. We want to level up. They want to level down. We're proud of this country's culture and history and traditions. They literally want to pull statues down, to rewrite the history of our country, to edit our national CV, to make it look more politically correct. We aren't embarrassed to sing old songs about how Britannia rules the waves. In fact, we're even making sense of it with a concerted national shipbuilding strategy that will bring jobs to every part of the UK, especially in Scotland. And we believe passionately in our wonderful union, our United Kingdom, while the Labour opposition have done, frankly, nothing to defend the union and continue to flirt with those who would tear our country apart. And I say frankly to those separatist Scottish nationalists who would like this country to be distracted and divided by yet more constitutional wrangling, now is the time to pull together and build back better in every part of the United Kingdom. I have a simple message for all those on the left, the Labour Party, who think everything can be funded by Uncle Sugar, the taxpayer. It isn't the state that produces the new drugs and the therapies we're now using. It isn't the state that will hold the intellectual property of the vaccine if and when we get one. It wasn't the state that made the gloves and the masks and the ventilators that we needed at such speed. It was the private sector, with its rational interest in innovation and competition and market share and, yes, sales. We must not draw the wrong economic conclusion from this crisis. This government has been forced by the pandemic into erosions of liberty that we deeply regret, and to an expansion in the role of the state, from lockdown enforcement to the many bailouts and subsidies that go against our instincts. But we accept them because there is simply no reasonable alternative. And while we're at it, we'll do what all governments have shirked for decades. We will fix the injustice of care home funding, bringing the magic of averages to the rescue of millions. COVID has shone a spotlight on the difficulties of that sector in all parts of the UK. And to build back better, we must respond. Care for the carers as they care for us.